Andrew had a very concerned look on his face.
Oh,
No, sorry, it's okay. Just one of my snakes is being very active right now, and its whole front of its face looked very red, like maybe it was like bloody or something, but I think it's just the light shining through the little ducts on the side of his face, so it's okay. Just was worried for a second.
Snake fight!
So you said one of my snakes. How many snakes do you own?
Yes,
Two.
two.
I have two ball pythons.
Nice.
Drago and
Bellatrix.
Bellatrix, yeah.
Bellatrix,
Drogo and Bellatrix. So I think Drogo is actually
Bellatrix, the snake.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, she is Slytherin, so
Yeah,
I guess it all works out.
We just call her Bella. So
There you go. Yeah. What was that? Whatever. I was being long-winded. We can. I don't remember what I was talking about. Should we like officially start now? Yeah.
Sure.
Might as well.
All I have is like a million Google tabs open because I had no time. Thanks to being back at our lovely workplace, I have no time to put together like, organized podcast notes. So we're winging it tonight.
Sounds good. That's my everyday life, so I'm down.
Winging it. Yeah, it's Sunday night.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Happy fucking Mother's Day. Happy fucking Mother's Day from the Getting Off Topic podcast. Yay. This is Tony.
This is Todd.
I'm Andrew.
Meg.
Yay. Yeah, how's everybody been? We've been on another hiatus for
Wow.
I don't know, at least a month maybe?
Sounds about right.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
A long time.
We had a D&D game in between the last podcast, and then we got busy for some reason one week, and then we were scheduled for another D&D game, but that got canceled. So yeah, I think it's been like a month.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of a whirlwind here at the Casa de Valdez. Sadly had to say goodbye to our beloved Z, our baby. And that was rough. But
Still rough, but we're getting through it.
Yeah.
Losing a pet / family member is never easy, and it takes a while.
Yeah.
I mean, we had pets growing up. I mean, I grew up with dogs, like big dogs. And I remember when Meg first wanted a rabbit, I thought, well, that's a stupid pet to have. Like I knew nothing about like, oh, that's like a rat you stare at in a cage, or like a goldfish in a bowl or something. Like I like dogs. Big, they play with you. That's your buddy. That's family. And here I am, like, felt like a nuclear bomb hit me in my heart when we had to say goodbye to Z. But also that's, when you grow up with pets, that's like technically it's your parents' pet, and they're doing all the taking care of, and like you play with them some, but
it's different when you raise a pet on your own and
they're actually yours.
Yeah.
My family was the opposite. It was my pet, and it was my responsibility. I was like sure, we had a few different dogs before I was old enough to know any better, but like from the time that I was like 5 or 6, any dog that we had was my dog, and it was my responsibility.
Nice. I had lots of pets. They were never really mine until I got into college, and I got 2 chinchillas. And sadly, when one of those passed, it hit me harder than I thought it would. Like, I wasn't super close. I didn't actually train them or do as much as I probably should have. But when it passed away, it tugged on my heartstrings. Or when we had to put our first shadow down, I was very sad about that. The poor little. What's up?
Can you actually train chinchillas? My sister had a chinchilla for a while. And
with some kind of rudimentary instructions, kind of like, I think they're about maybe a little bit smarter than a rat. So like they can train them to sit on your shoulder, come out for food, do little courses and stuff like that. They're nowhere near, like a dog or something like that, but they have some basic kind of commands or training with treats and things that they'll do.
Yeah, you can train rabbits too. There's little things that they'll do. You make them like spin around and stuff with treats.
I remember seeing chinchillas when you were working at the rabbit rescue.
Yeah, they're fucking terrifying.
They were like, I saw one that was so hyperactive, a little American Ninja Warrior in the cage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't have them in my bedroom because they will just literally all night. at least either nocturnal or the ones that are most active at like,
They're
evening and morning.
binaural, so they're like morning and evening.
Exactly. That thing would just hop around nonstop. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. You're going in the living room right
And
now.
that dust gets fucking everywhere.
Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
you don't
the
give it
dust
all the
bath.
time. Yeah, you give them a dust bath and you take it out. So, once a week they hop in there for like 20 minutes and they're good.
Also, like, I don't trust an animal that eats with their hands.
It's so cute. They have little paws. They can grab it.
I know it's cute, but I still don't trust them.
No.
You don't trust it?
I don't trust them.
Not like they have thumbs, Meg.
It's just little
You
graspers.
need thumbs for the uprising to occur.
I don't care.
Nothing opposable.
Meg wakes up and it's like, damn it. I'm
It's
blanking
birds
on
with chinchillas. They're just everywhere.
I'm blanking on the title. What is it? The traveler who is like he goes all over the world and he ends up in a village where he's like a giant and all the little people will have him like
Gulliver's Travels?
Gulliver's Travels. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. Meg wakes up in the middle of the night. She's all tied down, a bunch of chinchillas with like torches. And
Margaret's Travels to Chinchilla Land.
Yes. Oh man. Anyway, so yeah, since going back to quote unquote normal, haven't had much time I haven't touched Cyberpunk at all. But Meg and I binged through all of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And currently our random like go-to lighthearted comedy thing for nighttime, because we always have one of those to crash onto before bed. Letterkenny.
Mm-hmm.
You guys watched any of Letterkenny?
I've only seen the clips that I think we've talked about, of like this, crazy, the Hicks of Canada, basically. And
yeah, our friend Rachel turned us on to it, and she came up like for a weekend, and we watched like the first 2 episodes, and then I thought like, oh, we just kind of forgot about it. And then one night we just picked it back up again, and we've been flooring through it. And it's like
so funny.
Yeah, it's super quick too. They're like 25-minute episodes, 7 episodes a season.
okay.
Yeah, so we're already in like season 5 or 6 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like Clerks, like a show about nothing, but just sitting there and waxing about bullshit and hanging with your friends. Except
Canadian Seinfeld.
Yeah, instead of Jersey, it's Canadian Hicks, and they drink and fight and talk about bullshit, and that's about it. But yeah, definitely recommend that.
We watched that
Yep.
Pam and Tommy show.
Oh yeah,
I heard good things. I was
It
curious.
was really good.
that was really freaking good. 6 episodes, 8 episodes.
Something like that. But they definitely should get nominated for Emmys for that shit, because it was amazing.
Yeah, both Lily James and Sebastian Stan were
And Seth
incredible. Yeah. And Seth Rogen, yeah, that's right.
I really wanted to watch it, but I was conflicted from a morality standpoint. Yeah, morals.
In what way?
It's a show about Pam and Tommy being exploited, about how their sex tape was released and how they fought it and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And the show was made expressly without the authorization from either Pam and Tommy.
Oh shit. Which is exactly what happened with the tape.
Yeah.
Kind of a retelling, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Recurring. Well, you can't unsee it now. What you
Yeah,
watch,
Yeah.
unwatch. So,
But it really was like really interesting on, because I mean, we all remember the days before the internet and cell phones and all that kind of stuff, and so like the nostalgia part of them showing that side of it and how like the internet really was the Wild West. It still is, but I mean, like, nobody knew how to deal with this kind of stuff back then. Like, people didn't even know what the World Wide Web was.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
A huge part of it, once they get into all the legalities of how, because it first spreads in one way, like by stolen videotape, and then spreads to other people and other people and other people. And that's why it was like wildfire, because eventually like it was out of the original theft, the original thief's control, just other people started spreading around like crazy. And had the internet already been established, like today by today's standards and all the laws, with like privacy laws and revenge porn and all that stuff, like they would have been protected today and would have been able to.
I mean, they would have been protected, but the tape would have still spread just as wide as it did.
Super viral.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But there would have been more justice, I think, on their end for trying to get it under control versus everybody just saying like, nope, not our problem. Sorry, it is what it is. And that's just like so maddening to deal with that.
Yeah. They would have had more legal recourse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To anybody who was putting it out there unauthorized. Yeah, crazy shit. I still recommend watching it, but
I mean,
no.
I might watch it eventually. Yeah. I don't know.
But on the flip side, I can honestly say I still have never seen the sex tape. So
yeah, I actually haven't either.
You know,
I always heard about it, but never saw it. And
I'm a dude that has more morals than I did when I was a teenager, so of course I've seen it.
Oh, I mean, I did not see that specific tape. I heard a lot about it, and I'm shocked that I didn't, because man, did I watch a lot of porn as soon as I had an internet connection.
That long AOL just waiting for it to connect.
Yeah, 14 or whatever. Man, those are the golden days.
You had the early GIF version of the scene from Barbed Wire on repeat.
Oh man, Barbed Wire! What a pull, Todd.
I have never actually watched it, and that's part of the show, because that movie's released. She's making that movie
with all this happening
while the sex tape stuff is all blowing up. But yeah, so I looked it up really quick. Do you know who is in that freaking movie?
Is Walter Goggins in that movie?
No, not Walter Goggins.
Okay.
Where it is, Barbed Wire. Let me just read you the brief premise of Barbed Wire. Cinematic classic from 1996.
Wow.
Barbed Wire. Here we go. A sexy nightclub owner, Barbed Wire, Pamela Anderson Lee, moonlights as a mercenary in Steel Harbor, one of the last free zones in the now fascist United States. Okay, we're not far off.
I mean,
when scientist Cora Devonshire, played by Victoria Rowell, wanders into Barb's establishment, she gets roped into a top secret government plot involving biological weapons. Soon, Barb is reunited with her old flame, Axel Hood, played by Tamora Morrison.
Holy shit.
Wait,
Fett,
what is it?
Boba Fett.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Her old flame, Axel Hood, who is now Cora's husband and a guerrilla fighter, resulting in plenty of tense action. Oh, yes, this story is adapted from Casablanca. I need to watch this. Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah, good stuff.
Indeed.
How about you guys? What are you playing? What are you watching? What's going on?
I'm still playing through Elden Ring, kind of taking my time. There's just more and more stuff to do in that game. Really liking it more than I thought I would. So I'm really glad I started it. It's challenging, yes, but one thing I like is that everything is surmountable with the right, like learning about the moveset or what you need to go into it, like the right spells or weapons or whatever. Like everything is very doable, which was kind of a learning curve, but really, really just an awesome game. So I'm really enjoying that one. I also got the Skywalker Saga, the Lego new Star Wars one, because the not the original, but the second Lego Star Wars game that had, all 6 movies is probably one of my favorite games ever. And while the Skywalker Saga is good, like I'm enjoying it, Adam still doesn't have that special something that game did. So I'm going to play through it though. I want to unlock a little bit more.
All of the Lego games are entirely better than they have a right to be.
Yes. I agree.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever played any of them.
I played the Star Wars ones when they came out.
They're all good.
They're really fun.
Star Wars ones are probably the best. Yep. The Potter ones are pretty good, and the Lord of the Ring ones are fun also.
I think I played
liked
the Batman
Indiana
one
Jones.
at one point.
I like the original Indiana Jones. The Batman one was good, and I've heard that the Pirates of the Caribbean, they made so many freaking of these games when they were in their heyday. But I heard that one was fun as well. So,
they're like a guilty pleasure. They're not hard.
No.
But they're just fun to like.
Fun to pass the time.
Yeah, it's
They're fun to pass the time. They have like jokes that fans of the franchises will get. They have a few jokes here and there that adults will get. They're just generally good fun.
Yeah, you can play it with kids. I think I was like in college when I first played it, and I played through like almost the entire. I think it was like 98% completion before I kind of just wanted to move on and do other stuff.
Yeah.
As for watching, I don't know if I talked about the Severance season finale. Oh, so good. That's one of my favorite shows of this year so far. And I'm really hoping, I don't know if it's been announced for a second season yet.
Severance.
I really hope that they have, because there's so much that they could expand upon and do in at least one more season, if not, however many.
Does it leave with like an incomplete? Do they tell a complete story in one season with room for more to tell, or? Okay.
There's a pretty big cliffhanger at the end. The very last line is just a very big cliffhanger that could, do a whole nother season just based on that.
Ooh,
so
wow.
They've executed really well, a great cast. So I'm really hoping that gets picked up. And then I actually been watching some random stuff on HBO in between. I finally watched Primal. I don't know if you guys saw the caveman and the dinosaur.
Yes.
So good. I did not realize that came out in, was it 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's
the
amazing.
first half of it, like the first batch of episodes, 2019, and then I think early 2020 or something.
I could have sworn that came out like years and years ago, like 2016, 2017. Like, I don't know why. So
Well,
I
we watched it during quarantine.
Yeah. So I guess the second season might even be coming out later this year, which would be cool. So we'll see. That was a rad little series. Excuse me.
What I can never remember the name.
Yeah,
properly.
Tartakovsky.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. And then another random one that I guess was an Adult Swim production. Have you guys heard of 4 Busy Debras? Or 3 Busy Debras?
No.
Just one of those random Adult Swim cartoons. A lot of Tim and Eric energy, which I really appreciate. It's not quite as a sketch comedy vibe. It's like an actual, but each show is like 10 to 15 minutes about these 3 women that go on these absurd adventures and was it Lemon Curd, little like Connecticut town of imperfections, and it's a rather ludicrous but enjoyable little time if you get a chance to watch a couple episodes. It's pretty funny.
Adult Swim, you said?
Yep. But that's about, besides Moon Knight as well. That's been my month or so.
Nice. Todd, eating questionable bacon.
Questionable Bacon, the title of the podcast.
There you go.
So I haven't really been watching much. I mean, Moon Knight, obviously, Picard, and then Strange New Worlds. But other than that, it's just like the occasional Critical Role episode. I'm almost done with my fucking watch through of the entire season 2, which is 140 something episodes, and they're all between 4 and 5 hours long. So I'm almost done with that. But for playing, I've been playing a lot of random shit lately. First off, so I've recently discovered that I cannot game quite like I did in my teenage and 20s.
Yeah.
So I sort of broke my Blizzard boycott.
Oh no!
But I have justified it. The reason why I broke my Blizzard boycott is to play Diablo 3. And the reason why I've done that is I already own Diablo 3. I pay no subscription fee. I pay nothing to Blizzard to play this game. There's no additional cost. In fact, I am costing them money because it's an online always game, so I'm using their servers. There's no advertisements or anything, so it's costing them money to let me play their game that I've already bought from them. So I figure, why not? I've been wanting to play it for months because of all things, fucking Critical Role. Matt Mercer actually works with Blizzard. He does a lot of voices for their games. In fact, the entire cast and crew has been on multiple Blizzard games.
Did you like a bunch on Overwatch, right?
Yeah. Well, he is one of the characters. He was the character was named McCree, but the guy that character is named after was one of the abusers at Blizzard and got fired. So they renamed it. That character, I don't know
Like
what
Dave or something, right?
Something basic. But yeah, he voiced McCree, and that was Overwatch. But he also did the voice for I think it was Illidan Stormrage in World of Warcraft. Laura Bailey did the voice for Jaina Proudmoore. So she did that voice, and then they do a lot of other. But the reason why I've been wanting to play Diablo 3 is because during Critical Role they have the battle music during intense scenes, and they've been using the Diablo soundtrack as some of their battle music because they have to use like non-copyright stuff. But Blizzard gave them special permission to use their copyrighted music on their Twitch streams. So
nice.
Yeah, so it's been making me want to play. But the reason why I've discovered that I cannot game like I used to is because of fucking wrist issues and RSI. And I don't know if you've ever played. I think, Tony, you said you've never played a Diablo game.
No.
But they're very like click heavy. Like you click a lot for ARPGs and you sort of like death grip the mouse. You like your hand is just like contorted to make sure you're getting the clicks off and you're moving around real quickly and you're just you're killing your wrist basically.
Designed to cause you pain.
Yeah, it literally is. Like there's like threads all over like Reddit and the internet in chat rooms going back decades on how you combat RSI in ARPGs. And
sorry, go ahead.
And it's just like relax, take breaks, don't game for 16 hours straight. get ergonomic equipment and pray.
Go be a human for a while.
Yeah, go be a human for a while every now and
again.
Go
touch some grass.
Yeah.
I remember Meg was telling me when she was battling her tendonitis more. I mean, even now she still has to be careful sometimes, not like do marathon knitting and stuff, but there were some games that would tire you out faster than others. Wasn't Horizon Zero Dawn something about the running or something? Was
the controller, because we had it on PS4, and to run you had to hold the left joystick down and then push up. And so that grip motion to do fucking everything in the game, I ended up getting tendonitis in my other arm.
Oh no.
So I didn't game. I finally beat the game and I took a few months off just, because I wasn't going to push it. But that was one of the mechanics I disliked about Horizon Zero Dawn was it wasn't like if it was a trigger, that would be different. If it was a button, that'd be different. But it was just to hold the joystick down all the time.
That continuous pressure.
Yeah, it just really bothered my arm.
And then when I played later, I showed Meg, hey, there's actually an option in the options menu where it can just be
you can toggle it.
Yeah, you can toggle it.
Well, that didn't help at the time.
See, that's one of
also no matter what game you're playing, you really do have a vice grip on the.
But that's one of my gamer 101 tips that I tell any like new gamers, Meg. Always go through the accessibility options when you start a new game. Always go through the accessibility options and the general game options.
And open the "Are you old?" menu. Let's make these dialogue windows larger. Let's toggle the controls. Let's have subtitles for everything.
Do you have weak muscles, weak bones, and shitty tendons? You want to play a video game?
Oh man. Yeah, good stuff.
Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Hearts of Iron. I think I've talked to you guys about these types of games before. It's a 3X type game. I've called them the spreadsheet video games.
Oh,
where
that one's thrilling.
oh yeah, it's absolutely riveting.
Do tell.
But this one's a World War II simulator, and you basically like you pick a country in 1936, and you play it all the way up through World War II, and like it's a management sim type game. Like you control the entire country, you decide what you're researching, you decide how many like divisions of your army you're creating, you create your ships, you create your airplanes and all that good stuff, and then you fight the Nazis, or as the Nazis, you fight the Allies, or as an independent country, you fight whoever you want. And play through that, and like you can do like super historical runs, or you can do like crazy, like what if America decides it wants to conquer the entire Americas and invade Mexico and Canada and all that good stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's a very specific style of game that you have to enjoy to be able to play.
Managing all those resources and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like there's not super satisfying like fighting sequences. Like you have your divisions and they kind of like pew 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 pew. You don't really see like massive amount of troops fighting each other. It's just like numbers on a screen kind of
It's just
thing.
a little bobblehead guy saying, "Hey, what you shooting for? I'm not your guy, buddy."
Exactly.
Nice. Cool.
I've just been playing shitloads of Animal Crossing, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
They still going with that, Mick? How's your island looking?
It's pretty full at this point.
Yeah, weren't you just like happy to kick somebody out the other day? She's
Yeah.
like, fuck off, I'm done with you.
Pretty much, yeah. But I made up a little area for Z, like with a grave and some flowers and like some candles and shit. So that was really cute. Yeah. But I'm kind of at a point in the game where unless like I'm collecting, like trying to collect all of the stuff for the museum or trying to, you know, be best friends with all of the villagers, I'm kind of at a point where I'm like plateaued a bit, like unless I want to redo parts of my island, which I don't because I just finished it all.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, all right.
Yeah,
You've reached that point where you don't know if you want to continue for completionist sake.
Yeah.
But, like you're at the 98% complete, but that 2% is just like random shit that you have to grind for.
Well, not only that, I mean, the game you can forever play, you know, like people like level out their whole island and start from scratch again. So like there really is no way to fully be done with that game, but
it's like Stardew. Right?
It's like Stardew, yeah. But for me, it's just like, well, I finally kind of got everything where I want it. Like, why would I want to destroy all that and start again?
To watch your world burn.
Yeah. So, you know, I play it because it's like meditative in a way or comforting. And, you know, with Z passing, I didn't want anything I had to think about too hard. So that was nice. But again, I'm starting to feel like, okay, I'm kind of getting done again with this game. I'm ready to move back to something else.
You should pick up Terraria.
You know, a lot of people told me about that.
So it's definitely more complicated, and there's a lot more challenge depending on how far into the game you want to get. Mm-hmm. But it's at least at the very beginning, the first like couple dozen hours, it's very relaxing, very just chill, kind of mining and finding equipment and stuff like that.
It's like a 2D Minecraft in a way, right?
It's like a 2D Minecraft, but also like a classic like platformer, like a Contra or something like that, with like bosses and stuff that you have to fight.
Okay.
You know, I've held the game a few times at the store and then changed my mind about it. And then I think you've been telling me about it for a few years now, Todd. So
yeah, I got big into it like during the middle of the pandemic. I played it for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
It's all platforms, right?
Yeah, it's all platforms, and it should be super cheap. And the game is pretty much done. I think they released their final like update patch like a couple months back as their like final content to change.
Yeah, I still have to finish Pokemon Shield. I haven't picked that up in a while. And then we've got so many Switch games that we bought when we got the Switch, and they're still in the packaging.
Yeah, we don't need to buy anything for quite some time. Yeah. Oh, you reminded me, Meg, with of course, losing Z, we needed a lot of just random comfort. So Meg especially pushed for let's not watch our dramatic shows or anything too intense. Just give me something happy. And so we went through a bender of just the
Silly
most
kids
lighthearted, family-friendly shit we could find. So we started with Luca, which is a Pixar one. That was actually really good.
That's a fun one, right?
That was perfect for what we needed at that time, because the story isn't very complicated at all.
Yeah, a little sea monster boy, the living in the.
They just want a Vespa.
Italy.
They just want a Vespa.
A Vespa, yeah. That was good.
And then we watched Sonic finally.
Sonic, yeah, the first one.
You haven't seen it till now?
No, I eventually, I knew I wanted to eventually, because well, at least Jim Carrey. The trailers didn't sell me. I was like, this looks like a little kiddish. I'm sure it's fine, but I don't need it in my life. But then again, Jim Carrey. I'm always down for Jim Carrey, and it was good. Yeah, it was fun. It's not Shakespeare, but it's fun.
It's a solid kids movie that has enough for adults, I think. I've watched it with the girls so many times, and every time it's oh yeah, that's still funny. And Jim Carrey just makes it even better. Yeah. The second one is good. I'm really hoping it isn't Jim Carrey's final film and that he comes back for, I don't know, something else. But I guess
he announced that he thinks he's done. Done. I mean, he rarely makes any movies these days anyways. Once in a blue moon, he'll get an itch.
Yeah.
But,
I think he spoke multiple times on how he's disgusted with the entire Hollywood industry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for a long time he's been very disconnected from it. And,
he had an episode of I can't remember what Seinfeld's show, getting coffee in cars with comedians or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he just did not like it. He withdraws, and he has his own art studio in downtown LA where he just creates random fucking art.
Yeah, he's a huge artist. That's all he does anymore.
Yeah, which is cool. Good for him. I mean, it's always it's double-sided. I love when he comes out to play and does his old goofy stuff, but he's also transitioned to this point in his life where he's I'm not interested in being that person anymore, involved in the machine. He just likes off, fucking off and doing his art, and whether it makes a dime or not doesn't matter. He just likes doing it. So I'm good for you, but I also miss you. Yeah. I'll definitely see the second one eventually. We watched both of the Paddington movies too, because that was highly recommended for a long time. Friends just said they're just such heartwarming, wholesome family movies, and it's true, they are. That was fun.
They were fine.
Yeah.
Randomly, I heard the new Winnie the Pooh was also a good one with Ewan McGregor as the older Christopher Robin.
I think we saw that in the theater.
Yeah, we did.
That was fun.
You might have been the ones who told us it was good, in fact. So
yeah. Yep.
And then of course we didn't watch these just now, but in the same realm of feel-good family movies that are good for everybody, the Peter Rabbit movies are actually pretty decent too.
We started those, with the girls. That's the one with Domhnall Gleeson, right? And I forget the woman in it. Rose Byrne, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always down for Rose Byrne.
I mean,
Yeah.
You ever see Spy?
So which one was
With
Spy?
Melissa McCarthy?
I think I did.
I can't remember if I did.
Super funny movie. If you get a chance, it's very hilarious. But also, Rose Byrne is thick in that movie, so I give it 2 thumbs up just based on her dummy thickness. So
sold. Adding it to the list.
There you go.
We respect women on the Getting Off Topic podcast.
I mean, she knew what she was doing there, so. And her husband's in it too. So her real life husband, I forget his name, but yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, speaking of fun for the whole family and also Hottie McHot Pantses, one of the big little bits of news this week, we got the first photos of Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't know if it was a joke or not.
And Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, I think it was a Entertainment Weekly
Well, the teaser trailer came out too, right? You guys saw
that came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And you just catch that glimpse of her at the very end with the helmet and everything. But yeah,
and the reforged. Yeah. Well, it looks like it's that Japanese, like with the gold through it going. I can't remember what the art is called.
Yeah, could be.
But I mean, obviously that's not what's going on there, but that's the look that they went for with Mjolnir, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
But she is fucking ripped for this.
Oh yeah.
Really?
I mean, got shredded.
She's mostly covered with armor and gauntlets and everything. You barely see anything, but the portion of her arm and shoulder that is in view, it's like, damn. Yeah.
She definitely went on the MCU diet/workout routine.
Yeah. That's going to be fun. And it was Empire magazine that released those first shots. And there was a little snippet of an interview with Taika just saying how jazzed he is for it. He thinks, I mean, of course he's going to hype his own movie, but he thinks that Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher is like the best MCU villain they've had yet.
Real quick side note, just sidebar real quick. Todd, if you haven't seen Our Flag Means Death,
so good.
You need to watch that shit.
It's on the list.
Oh, yeah. Bump it up
you need to bump it up to the top of your list.
So good.
Okay.
Fuck everything else in your life.
Yeah. Pretty much. You need to watch the show.
Definitely highly recommend. Yeah.
Riz Darby, Taika Waititi do a great job. So many cameos from other people.
Mm-hmm.
So great.
Yep. What was I saying? Oh yeah. And Taika, he also really pumped up. He was raving about Natalie Portman because he's like, she's actually really hilarious in real life. She's just a natural comedian, and she definitely did not get to use those chops in the first two Thor films. So she's like, we're definitely gonna get a lot of her in the new one. So
there we go.
That's fun. Yep. Let's see. Let me go through my 1,000 Google tabs and see what other news that I meant to organize this week.
So Top Gun is finally fucking coming out.
Oh, it is, huh?
Yeah, another thing that's premiering on May 27th. So that
oh, right. Because happy birthday to you. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get Obi-Wan,
Stranger Things.
Wait, is that your actual birthday, Todd? The 27th?
Yep.
That is my youngest daughter's birthday as well. You guys have a shared birthday.
Oh, awesome. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
What else did I have here? Oh, I was telling Meg. Either of you guys, have you watched Netflix's Sex Education?
I watched the first 2 seasons. I haven't yet watched the third, but I know where you're going with this story, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, good stuff. Gillian Anderson. All those good. But yeah, one of the kid actors or high school actors, I mean, I'm sure he's probably in his 20s in real life. I'd have to look at least. Yeah. But was tapped to play the new Doctor, the 14th Doctor in Doctor Who, because Jodie Whittaker is stepping down. They said I don't know if it's officially been announced, the timeline, but the word is that she's going to have one more episode around the end of this year, which would coincide with the BBC's 100th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. And that'll be the transition where she steps down, and the new actor, I apologize if I'm butchering his name, Nikuti Gatwa.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, he's going to be the 14th Doctor. I was telling Meg, I mean, she's never watched Doctor Who with me before, but
I've seen like one episode, and apparently it wasn't a very good episode.
Okay. But yeah, he's a Scottish actor. He will be the first Black man to play the Doctor. Jodie Whittaker was the first woman. And And also this coincides with, as Jodie Whittaker steps down, so is the current showrunner, Chris Chibnall, I believe it is. And all the longtime fans of Doctor Who and this new Doctor Who revival, since it started in like 2005, are excited because Russell T Davies, who was the original showrunner who kicked off the new resurgence of Doctor Who, he's coming back. So he did all those years with David Tennant and Matt Smith. I think he did part of the Matt Smith years and somebody else took over, but he did all the David Tennant years. And before that, Christopher Eccleston, who was the first and ninth Doctor. So, which a lot of people are like, those were the best years.
Yeah,
so,
right.
So it'll be really interesting to see. But even, besides that, this guy, Nikuti Gatwa, if you've seen him on Sex Education, he's amazing. Like,
he does a very good job.
He's an incredible actor. I mean, his character is hilarious on that show. And Meg, we were just talking about this before we started recording, and we're wondering, like, how much is that? Because we haven't seen him in anything else. So it's like, how much is that is the character for Sex Education, and how much of that personality is just him and he'll bring forward in Doctor Who. But I mean, the Doctor's always kind of been like wacky and out there, and he's so like boisterous and flamboyant in Sex Education. You got to imagine some of that will blend over. So
that'll be appropriate. Yeah. All right. Quick question for you and Todd. And I don't know if you can explain well, what the hell is a showrunner? Because I've heard that term so many times, and I don't really know a good definition for that. Is it just someone who like is hyping up the show, is like promoting it? Is it someone who's like
they're the
manager.
They're the overall like creative director of it. They might write a little bit of it. They might produce some of it. They probably have like the general outline of this is how I want the arc to go of the show.
The main creative force behind the show.
Okay.
If it was movies, they would probably be the director or director/producer.
I would
even
say the executive producer rather.
Oh, okay.
In the movie form.
But in TV shows, a lot of times there'll be a showrunner who's really the main captain of the ship, and
so they're running the show, if you will.
So, and they'll they might direct a few episodes, or maybe even just the season premiere and season finale, and then in between there'll be other directors they tap to, helm. Like think of The Mandalorian.
Dave Filoni. Not Dave Filoni.
Favreau.
Happy.
Favreau. Happy. Yeah. Jon Favreau, showrunner. He directs a few episodes, brings in Bryce Dallas Howard, brings in other directors, to do that. But he's the main creative guy at the reins. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. That helps a lot.
He's the one that sets the overall tone for the series.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. So that's exciting. Let's see what else. But if you guys have anything, feel free to chip in while I sort through my.
I'm looking. There's not much. There's not much like outside of Strange and.
Did either of you see Strange? I saw, though this is not really exactly related. I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once. Did either of you guys have?
I want to see that.
I want to see that so bad. In fact, I was thinking about that today. I was wondering, maybe we should go. Maybe Tuesday.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It was really good. I was really hoping that like some little part of Michelle Yeoh's scene in like Shang-Chi or something would pop in there so they could kind of tie it in the MCU multiverse, as like a little throwback or fun little cameo. Of course, I'm sure, Marvel wouldn't be super happy with that, but it was really well done. Michelle Yeoh was awesome. I forget his name, but to see Short Round come back and do an awesome job.
This is his first acting gig in like 20 years, right?
30 years, I want to say.
Years?
Yeah, he was basically out after the Goonies and Temple of Doom. And I saw bits of article interview with him, and he basically said it wasn't until he went and watched Crazy Rich Asians, and he realized like, oh, there's actually legit dramatic parts for Asian actors now, and
they're not being stereotyped horribly.
now I'm feeling the FOMO, and so it kind of pulled him back into being interested in acting. And then when he got the script for Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's like, oh yes, absolutely, I'm back, I'm in.
Really well done. So yeah, just go back. Like that is something worth watching. So if you get
Ki Huai Kwan.
Yeah.
Apologize if I'm butchering that, but I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. But yeah.
No,
That's
another
cool. Now I would love to see
thing.
him. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just one last bit. After hearing like how amazing he is and how amazing the movie is, now I'm dying. I'm hoping there's a little fan hope in me that when Indy 5 comes out, whenever the hell it comes out, that at some point he goes and visits Short Round, and he's grown up, and I don't know, maybe has a little bookshop or something. I don't know. I don't care. I just want him to have a little tender reconciliation moment with him. That'd be sweet.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Go ahead, Todd.
So another thing that I'm interested in that just a trailer came out for is there's a new documentary coming out again about George Carlin.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it uses a lot of footage from his stand-ups. So it's mostly stuff that you've already seen, but it's other comedian friends talking about him and all kinds of stuff. Give me anything Carlin, I will watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
I grew up watching Carlin with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like
awesome.
There's Jerry Seinfeld's in it talking about him, Bette Midler, Jon Stewart.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a bunch of other
He had
people.
A real big impact on just comedy in overall. I mean,
yeah.
That's right.
And it was and the good thing, the thing that really makes me excited about it is it's being made by Judd Apatow. So,
okay. I think he'll do him justice.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of Judd Apatow, did anybody watch The Bubble?
No. What was The Bubble?
It was a Netflix production about a movie production where a bunch of actors are filming the latest in an action franchise.
I wanted to see that.
Quarantine. I think it's still on Netflix. It's just I liked it better when it was Tropic Thunder, but it's still funny enough. But the whole time I was like, this is just Tropic Thunder during a quarantine. Like it's even the ending's like they filmed this whole making of, and it's the one getting some. It's like wow, this is like an almost carbon copy. Like the archetype of the people making the movie are very similar, but it was really cool. Michael Key, David Duchovny is in it. Like so, there's a lot.
I remember seeing the trailer. I remember seeing Karen Gillan posting. She posted the fake movie, the movie within the movie, the poster for it, which is some ridiculous spin on like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Some dinosaur apocalyptic movie or something. She posted the poster image on her Instagram. I was like, what the hell is this? Is this a joke? And I was remembering, wait, what day is it? Is it April 1st? But then the trailer came out and yeah, that's definitely on the list.
It's worth a watch. It's still funny. So
all right. Yeah. Well, speaking of goofy shit, my beloved Arrowverse seems to be finally coming to an end, winding down. The Flash, I think, still has another season to go. I think they're already renewed.
I think they did get renewed for one more season, at least one more season.
Yeah.
Well, unless this actor goes to Hawaii and punches a bunch of tourists too, I guess we'll have to that.
Oh my God! All that drama happened in the last month we were away.
Right. Hopefully, it doesn't go into a Flash rage, but you never know.
Just Grant Gustin can totally just replace Ezra Miller. Like he won my heart a long time ago. Like as dumb as the Flash show has gotten, like he's always been solid as Barry Allen.
Yeah. Even looks wise, they're not like that far off. Like whatever, I'll go with it.
Yeah, for sure. Just have him hanging out with Michael Keaton. That'd be rad.
Be amazing.
Yeah. But inexplicably, the Flash show, bonkers that it is, still is going, at least for one more ride. Meanwhile, Legends of Tomorrow, which me personally I'll defend to the ends of the earth, the best show out of the entire Arrowverse, canceled. As well as Batwoman, which meh. But they wrapped their seasons basically it seems like they knew that they were on the fence, they were on the bubble. Okay. Because Batwoman season 3 ended with everything pretty much wrapped in a pretty bow. Like, so in case we're done, this is as solid as an ending as we're going to get. And Legends of Tomorrow, they did the same, but they kind of like left the one foot in the door, left the door cracked open just a little bit. And in interviews with the showrunner of that show, or executive producer or whatever, they said basically that was them trying to coax the studio to give them one more go. Because like spoilers for the end of Legends Tomorrow, it was basically like all of the team of superheroes are pretty much ready to move on with their lives and retire and do other things and stuff. And there's someone else in place who's going to like take care of the timeline and whatever. But then some shit happens at the last second, like after they're saying all their goodbyes and everything. And like some shit happens at the last second where it's like, oh, we got to go on one more ride, like one last mission. But then they
just when I'm out, they pull me back in.
Yeah, we need you, Rambo. You're the best. But yeah, so that was basically the producer was like, I was hoping, I was calling the executives bluff, and hopefully they'll give us one more ride, but no, they didn't. But yeah, I mean they're pretty much, the Arrowverse as a whole is done, other than the Flash ending like next year probably, and the Superman show, Superman and Lois. It's basically part of the Arrowverse, but they haven't really made any connections at all. Like they haven't done any crossovers like they were before, which the plans kind of fell out because Ruby Rose leaving with Batwoman, and then COVID, basically with the pandemic, they couldn't do any crossover stuff. They had to keep everything like low key. But I mean, that show is really good. I mean, that's like, of all the goofiness of the CW Arrowverse shows, I would recommend to anybody Superman and Lois, because that's like more like a grounded family drama plus Superman.
I mean, I loved what Lois and Clark back in the day. That was like my jam. So if it's anything like that, that was really fun.
Yeah. I can't remember if I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but our old friend David Harding, who was one of our first friends that we met up here when we moved to Orange County, we met him he was working at the comic shop nearby, but he is an obsessive Superman fan. And just this past year during COVID, he discovered, he was aware of it, but he actually took the time to go watch all of Lois and Clark. And he's like obsessed. He's like, that's my new favorite live action Superman.
I mean, Dean Cain did a good job too. Like that was in Terry Hatchett, right? Like
Terry Hatchett, yeah.
That was a good cast. That was solid.
I grew up with that one.
I remember watching that, and then it immediately, I think it was like UPN or something, and then it immediately went into Voyager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I remember watching that run of shows too. Yeah. That's when I started watching Voyager back during its old runs. Oh man.
I honestly though, for Arrowverse, I think its days had been numbered since Peacemaker did so well, and since Marvel had decided they wanted to do a TV universe that connected to their movie universe, because anytime Marvel does something, DC has to half-ass copy it.
Yep.
And so I think the next few years we're going to get a lot of DC shows that are connected to Peacemaker and connected to their film universe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got Batgirl coming with Michael Keaton, which I'll watch anything Michael Keaton. Sure, that's great.
Exactly.
Yeah. It could just be him like sitting in the Batcave, just repeating to himself, "I'm Batman. I'm Batman." Like, I'll watch that. I'll watch several hours of that. And Peacemaker, I mean, James Gunn blew everybody out of the water with that. They can do whatever the hell. They mentioned before that they were throwing out a possible other potential spinoff with another Suicide Squad character, but I don't think they revealed who.
Not yet.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know if you guys heard this. Apparently, Tom Holland said that when he was filming scenes with Michael Keaton, and it was like up close and personal, Michael Keaton would just whisper in his ear, "I'm Batman," and then like they do the scene, and that's just so good. I hope that he did, because that's perfect.
Yeah, I heard that too, and that is amazing.
That's wonderful. That makes me happy. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Andrew, are you watching the Star Trek shows like me and Todd? Did you watch Picard season 2 or The Strange New
No,
World?
I didn't. I watched some Lower Decks. I think I mentioned that a couple last
Right.
times. And that was awesome, super fun. But then my Paramount Plus subscription expired, and we just haven't really had the money or the interest to renew that.
Gotcha.
So no, I haven't really been caught up with those ones, sadly.
Gotcha.
I think this last season of Picard is going to be the last, if I heard. Like they aren't coming back for a third. Is that correct?
Third has already been filmed. So third is they filmed them back to back. So they originally, when the show was launched, when the show was pitched, they said we want to have a 3-season arc, and this is what we want to do.
Yeah. Do you care if we talk about it a little bit?
No, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. So I finally watched Picard's the season 2 finale the other night, which came out on Wednesday or Thursday, I think.
Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Todd, you were telling me, I guess there's a lot of divisive opinions on it, but I don't understand why. I freaking loved it.
It's more that the series, the complaints are twofold. The series, it doesn't feel like Trek, and that the storytelling kind of like falls apart like middle of the season. Like the beginning and the end are fine, but like the 5 episodes in between the finale and the beginning of it were just like meandering, kind of falling apart, and like storytelling that doesn't really lead up to anything. It's the Kurtzman style.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the complaint that most people have, is the Kurtzman style.
I don't know. I think, well, all right. You know me, I love everything, but yeah, I guess, I mean, you're never going to please everybody. There's either people who want like more action-y Trek, which, I mean, this has plenty of. And then there's also some meandering in the middle, but that's kind of necessary for the whole character growth, which is pretty much what this entire series point is. It's all like one giant character study on Picard.
Well, I think the problem was it was too action-y. That's like, we haven't had, ever since Star Trek was rebooted in the JJ verse, it's been nothing but action.
Mm-hmm.
And Picard has never been about action.
Yeah.
The character, not necessarily the show.
Yeah.
The character Picard has always been everything possible to avoid conflict.
I was actually thinking about that the other day when you were watching it. I was like, why does everything have to be some big war or explosion or big fight? Like, I remember back in like Next Gen, it was more diplomacy. It was more like quiet, you know, it wasn't always like we have to fight so-and-so and blow shit up and take over things, you know.
And then even when it did break down to fighting, they always figured out an alternate way to like end the fighting. They don't necessarily just fucking blow up the ship because they're blowing up the ship. They would find a way to disable the ship or do some weird Star Trek-y science thing to disable something.
Mm-hmm. Picard, blow up the damn ship. No. God, First Contact is still the best. Yeah,
I mean, will be drawn here and no farther.
This far, no farther. God damn, he's so good. To be fair,
I don't get that.
Yeah, that's a Letterkenny reference. To be fair, though, in this, I totally agree, and you're right. That's Trek nowadays is all balls to the wall action. Like they still throw in like the heartfelt moral stuff and everything, and speeches about how we need to do better. But let me like explode some heads first.
And it's more ham-fisted rather than nuanced. The morals and lessons.
Yeah. In like, season 2 of Picard. Oh, go ahead.
They the whole like going back in time and confronting like ICE. Like they did that in DS9, and they did it subtly. They did it with the riots in San Francisco and that kind of stuff. And they did that subtly, and they did that with the resistance and that kind of stuff. Where in this, they just said, oh, well, let's have a plot line about how ICE is bad. So we'll just show ICE being bad and being like corrupt and ineffective and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit on the nose or straight up direct. There's there's less
Subtlety.
yeah, there's less like symbolism and nuance, and more just like let's travel to, you know, the 20, what is it was supposed to be, they travel back to 2024 or something.
Yeah.
America, and like let's see how everything's all fucked up. But as far as the, you know, diplomacy and everything, I mean, they did try to negotiate and work with a freaking Borg queen. I mean, you got to give them that. And even in the end, they come to an understanding as opposed to just finding a way to eradicate her. And that ends up being the whole crux of Q's entire plot. Was I was watching the finale, and Meg's over here just kind of like half paying attention while she's knitting and stuff, and she's like, as they
Crocheting, thank you very much.
Crocheting.
Get it right, Tony.
I know.
As Picard is playing narrator and like, oh, that's why you played that song, because you remembered I told you how much it meant to me as a child, and that's why this happened, and this, and this, and that's why you needed our ships to protect us from this and everything. And she's figuring it all out. And Meg's like, so this whole season was basically a big trust fall. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And, you know, giving Picard therapy, fixing his, or having him come to terms with his childhood trauma so he can actually get close to people. Which, I don't know. Yeah, you could call it ham-fisted. I guess I'm mushy and I love it. But I mean, how could anyone's heart not melt when Picard is hugging Q? That was fucking, oh.
Mine didn't melt.
Oh, that's because you're dead inside.
That's because I also don't understand the history of those characters.
No, I mean, Q has always been this like dick of a god who just shows up out of nowhere.
Super antagonist.
He's literally Loki of Star Trek.
Yeah, there you go.
Loki of Star Trek pops in literally from another dimension to just be like, "Hey, Picard, I'm gonna screw with you today."
Just fuck with him for like no reason, right?
He literally sent them all back in time.
Yeah, but in this, series, in this season, you know, he pops up after God knows how many years, 20 or 30 years or something, and he's more serious than ever. And what we eventually find out is that he's dying. Like he's supposed to be an immortal being.
I was there for that scene, Tony.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
I wasn't there.
No, but yeah, he comes to terms with the fact that like, why is Q bugging this? I think we poked fun at it on the podcast. It's like, oh, Q just needs a friend. He's just totally bored in the Q continuum and he's lonely. But that's actually true. Like he's actually feeling his mortality and he doesn't want to die alone. And Picard is, as he says, you've always been one of my favorites. He's his totally number one. He's not one of his favorites. He's been crushing on him since day one.
He's been rubbing one out to Picard's picture.
Totally.
Since day one.
You're welcome, Todd.
There you go.
Ooh, yes, Moon Capitan.
Wow.
Dreams, sweet dreams tonight, Todd.
Yeah. Just ruined Star Trek for everybody. Yeah, anyway, I enjoyed it, but the internet's gonna internet.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. Just like I was explaining earlier, those are my biggest complaints. Is it just doesn't feel like Trek to me. Okay, let me rephrase that. So I really enjoyed it. I liked it because I love the Q Picard. I love 709. Even the 709's girlfriend. I can never remember her name.
Rafi.
Yeah, Rafi.
Mm-hmm.
I love her character, and Rios is amazing. Rios is probably my second favorite character. Yeah,
he's rad
after Picard, but it just doesn't feel like Trek. The way I explained it is I like the show, but it's not Trek. It's sci-fi with member berries. Like it's an established characters doing a
member Picard. Job. We got him in there too.
Member Q, member Data. Okay, I'll tell you the one beef, if anything, I had with this season. Soong's Dr. Soong's quote unquote daughter, I guess you could say, is his life's work, his engineered daughter, Corey. What was the point of any of that?
So he's trying to create perfect soldiers, basically.
Okay.
And being able to just grow them, to clone them, essentially, you can grow an entire army, just like the Clone Wars and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his purpose. But since he can't grow them, that leads him to do the genetically modified humans a la Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what turns into basically World War III.
Oh, right. That they
Star Trek
pulled that folder out, like Project Con, that thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he takes what he learns from trying to clone humans and instead just genetically modifies them.
So that Corey character doesn't really matter much at all. She just kind of was, the initial project that failed or actually worked, but she says like, "Fuck you, pretend dad, I'm out of here." And then
you're not my real dad.
Yeah. And then Will Wheaton comes along,
whisks her away.
Yeah, Wesley Crusher says, "Hey, I'm part of these Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, or all of reality. Come join our band," and off they go.
Oh, well, Wheaton had an appearance in this.
He did have a cameo. I was interested because when they said they had a teaser for season 3 a while back where they announced the entire returning cast of Next Gen was on there, and Will Wheaton's name was not there, and I was like, oh, I wonder if because Wheaton's been apparently retired from acting for a while now. He's another one of those guys that hates the entire Hollywood industrial system because he was an abused.
He was done.
Big Bang and yeah, I mean he does little
YouTube
review shows for Paramount for the Star Trek shows. He has guests of the series on and stuff.
So yeah, it's Chris Hardwick for Star Trek.
It's called the Ready Room, and they're doing the Chris Hardwick thing.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because they're like buddies.
Yeah, they were like college roommates and shit. So yeah, that makes sense. They're both doing the same thing now. All right, cool. But yeah, that was the really mind-blowing, exciting thing in the last few weeks was they put out just shortly before the last couple episodes of Picard aired, they released a teaser trailer for season 3 featuring a bunch of the original Next Gen cast, their voiceovers, and saying how we said we'd always be there if you needed us, Jean-Luc and blah blah blah. And so yeah, that was full on member berries, oh my god, it's happening. And they announced literally the entire old crew is going to be back. So.
And also interestingly enough, almost the entire crew of this current season is not going to be on the final season, or at least they're not listed as regulars. So we know that for sure Girardi, Rios, and the kid Elnor are not on season 3 at all.
Oh, okay. So Jerry Ryan's definitely in there. Because I remember she announced when she was wrapped on season 3.
Yeah.
And I assume Rafi will be back.
But everybody else. Oh, and apparently the Romulan love interest of Picard is not going to be in season 3, which makes no sense to me. Either that, or maybe she is just a guest star rather than a
series regular.
Wasn't that the whole point of this season?
Yeah, he couldn't get close to anybody, including her. She's like,
maybe that leads back to Beverly.
Okay.
He's finally ready to love. He had his little experience with this lady. He had his therapy sessions with Guinan and Q, and now he's ready to love. So he goes back to his one true love of Beverly.
Now I wonder if that's going to make it, if they're going to make it canon, where in the final episode of Next Gen, Q again is fucking with Picard, and he's bouncing back and forth through time. And at one point, he's in some odd years in the future, a future where him and Beverly did at some point get together. They were married and then I think split.
Yeah, I think they got divorced.
Yeah, so I wonder if that is official canon or that was just, not
happy coincidence.
Yeah, or if that was like it could have been a potential future that Q showed him, but it didn't happen or whatever.
If you think Kurtzman actually follows continuity, then you're looking at the wrong shows.
All right. Yeah, okay. So yeah. Then Strange New Worlds.
Oh yeah.
Which go ahead.
For this one, I can at least so far we've only had one episode, but this feels like Trek for the first time in forever.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus. Everybody is like, "Oh, this is what we've been looking for. This is what we've been missing." Like OG Trek with all the pulpy old-fashioned sci-fi tropes, but done well. And just as you were saying, Andrew, like less boom, explode, let's punch each other and shoot each other, and more like, no, we are going to have we are going to find common ground. We're fighting for the greater good, et cetera, et cetera.
Is this one the prequel with Kirk's former captain?
Captain Pike, and this takes place right after Discovery leaves. So if you've watched Discovery at all, so the moment Discovery time jumps into the future and the aftermath of all that, that's where this starts. This takes place.
Okay. So this is the time on the Enterprise where Pike is still the original captain. Spock is already there with him as his science officer, and which is in continuity with the original series, actually. And Kirk doesn't show up until a little ways later.
Okay.
And
although I was a bit confused as to Kirk shows up at the end of this episode, which maybe you can explain to me, Todd, because I don't know who the hell this guy is.
I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's supposed to be his father, his uncle, his brother, or what, but it's not James Kirk. It's not George Kirk either.
Yeah, George Kirk was his dad. This guy was like, "Hi, I'm Leroy Kirk," or some shit. Like, I forget what he said.
Yeah, I don't know. They'll explain it more as the season goes on, but like I was thinking about it, and I think the reason why like nothing up until this show has felt like Trek to me is because all of the Trek until now has had a main character. Like the JJ Treks, the main character was obviously Kirk, Chris Pine's Kirk. Like he was the main character. He was the main POV. Discovery, Burnham was the main character.
Yeah.
Like there's some side focus on Tilly, Michelle Yeoh, and then Book in the latest season. We've had some. But if you look at every Trek before that, Trek from Voyager, Enterprise, DS9, Next Gen, even original Trek, you always had the entire cast and you always had points of view of the entire cast. Like Trek, Next Gen, like you'd go episodes where Picard is not the main focus. You would go episodes where maybe it's Riker's time to shine or Geordi's time to shine or Data. Like there'd be full on episodes where most of the cast is only like a background scene where they have no lines, where it's focusing on one or two of the other characters. Whereas New Trek, it's always been main character focused. And I think that's been the problem. And this one, I mean, Anson Mount is still the main character, but I think with Spock and with number one, Rebecca Romaine, I think we're going to get more of a ensemble cast than we had with the rest of New Trek.
Yeah, as they were going around the ship and introducing all the faces and everybody, I really got that vibe that you're talking about. It's, this feels more like Next Gen. Actually, my initial thought was, this feels like what Orville does the best. Like I got such Orville vibes. Like, too. Of course, because that's their loving tribute to the Next Gen era. So yeah, I really enjoyed that shift in the dynamics. And I think you're right, for sure. Like, we've got all these strong characters that they're already in that one episode taking a lot of time to focus on, this corner of the ship and then the ground crew and all this stuff. And of course, Anson Mount like brings us into that world, because if you haven't watched Discovery, it's so in the as I was watching, I had to pause like for a few minutes and fill Meg in because she hasn't watched Discovery or anything. And like, wait, who's that guy?
I'm the annoying wife that has to ask all the questions.
No, I'm excited because I'm nerdy and I want to tell you all the answers.
I'm sure Tony enjoyed explaining it to you, Meg. You don't have to apologize.
Yeah. But yeah, so Pike, he's been established from the original series, like the OG series, because Captain Pike was originally Captain of the Enterprise, along with Spock.
For its first 2 5-year missions.
Yeah, it was in the pilot episode they filmed with Captain Pike being the Enterprise captain. Then once they went to series, suddenly it was Kirk. But then they explained it away that Pike suffered some like horrific incident and was like maimed and disfigured. And if you've probably seen in the ether, if you haven't watched the old episodes, a guy with like, half his face like horribly burned and in this like futuristic looking like box wheelchair thing. Yeah. And he can't even speak. Beeping. Yeah. And he just has like the beeping light to answer like yes, no to questions. Yeah. I mean, they've played it off of Futurama and 1,000 other things as a joke, but a brilliant maneuver they did in Discovery. They introduced Captain Pike in, I think it was season 2. And they continued that canon because at some point he visits this, I think it was like a Klingon monastery or something, some crazy, where these like soothsayers, whatever, he got a glimpse of his future. And they basically said, this is your destiny. Like, you're going to suffer this like horrific end. And it fucked him up, but he completed the mission. And so we pick up his story in Strange New Worlds, where he's on shore leave and he's avoiding going back. Like, he doesn't want it because he knows what's coming, and it's just this giant cloud over his head.
So the new story arc is him going through therapy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Him
coming to accept the fact that he's going to be maimed and
yeah. So he's riding horses in his snowy ranch, and then somebody comes along and says, "We need you, John Rambo." But his number one, Rebecca Romaine, has gone missing on a first contact mission, so that's what forces him back. And but yeah, really awesome cast. I don't know the guy who plays Spock, but he does a decent job. I still always expect like Zachary Quinto, and I forgot how crazy deep this guy's voice is. He's like super like way the fuck down here. But he was good. Rebecca Romaine is awesome.
Spock's wife is amazingly hot.
Ooh. Yeah, Spock had a wife. Interesting. Or a fiance. I guess we see her propose to him basically.
And the same thing, we in the original series, he had a fiance, and she actually like sabotages the Enterprise to like get out of her sort of loveless marriage with Spock.
Oh, totally forgot about that. Oh, okay. Anson Mount is terrific as Pike. It was Bruce Greenwood was Pike that we saw in the JJ films, who was also amazing. Yeah. And this guy kind of looks a lot like him too. But he's got, as a nod to the old series as well, when he's introduced in Discovery, he has kind of very like 1960s man swagger, sort of like he could have just walked in a room with Don Draper or something. Yeah. But yeah, of course, in Strange New World, when we pick up, he's kind of haunted and it's more low key, but he's good.
Uhura.
Oh yeah, we get Uhura.
Yep. She's still a cadet.
Yeah. I don't know the actress who plays her. She looked kind of familiar though. But yeah, I saw a thing, a kind of cool article. Rebecca Romaine was saying how she pushed to have that. She specifically requested to have that Starfleet dress kind of look
She said, I'm wearing a dress.
Yeah. She kind of took this stance with her character that she's the number one to the captain. She's like tough as nails and out there, with the action and everything. But she has this sort of mindset is like, just because you're strong doesn't mean you can't embrace your femininity as well. So she wears her hair down, she has painted nails, and she has her Starfleet dress.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Also, I fucking love Nurse Chapel. Nurse Chapel is amazing.
Yeah. Why does Star Trek always have awesome doctors? Like, they're like, get out of my way. I'm smart. But no, yeah, she was fun. And her whole, and kind of had this like she wasn't the crotchety doctor.
She's like manic pixie doctor.
Yeah. She was happy to like, oh, we got a runner. Okay, let's. I forget what they said, what the code they were, but what they said, like, but it was basically like somebody, like saying a football play. Oh, we're gonna do that maneuver. Okay, yeah, I'll meet you at the elevator. Let's go. Yeah, that was fun.
She's basically the Tig Notaro of this season so far, of the show.
What were we talking about? We were talking at the office the other day. Todd brought up Tig, saying like she should be.
Oh no, it's because I said we should do what they did with Tig in the Army of the Dead movie for Flash and put Grant Gustin in
insert there. Grant Gustin. Oh yeah, and then I said,
and then you said just make Tig the Flash.
Just make Tig the Flash. Why not? I could just see that'd be so. I'd see her with her just deadpan, like, yeah, I'm here. Apparently, everybody decided that I'm an action hero now. Here I am. Pew! Oh man. But yeah, Strange New Worlds. I'm excited. And I remember they said they were going to make it a point where it was going to be very episodic as well.
So that's absolutely what we need. I mean, sure, I'm okay with threads going through from episode to episode, but I don't want the whole like discovery, like from episode 1 to season finale, it's the same fucking story. Got to find the same the ending to the big bad for fucking 13 episodes. I don't need that.
Yeah. I bet they took a look at Orville and said, shit, they're doing a good job over there. Maybe we should do more of that. Yeah. Hey, isn't that this month also? Finally?
I don't fucking know. It's been so long that I've forgotten.
June, I don't know. Whatever. But it's coming. It's coming.
Wow, right?
Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah. It was like a 3-year journey for them to just do season 3 because of COVID.
June 2nd.
Wow. All right.
June 2nd.
Cool. Finally. Oh, let's see. I saw,
speaking of Orville, like I through all the random like classic movies and shit, I kept seeing Scott Grimes pop up, the navigator.
Uh-huh.
Just like randomly showing up in TV shows and movies that I was watching. Like he was in fucking Crimson Tide. He was in the 2010 Robin Hood movie.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see that one. Was that the one with Russell Crowe?
Yep. Okay. It was okay. It wasn't the worst Robin Hood movie, but it definitely wasn't Men in Tights or Kevin Costner's Robin Hood.
And then I want to say there was another one in like 2017-ish or something. I don't know.
The guy from the Kingsman. I forget his name, but they redid one with him. And the one guy from what was it? Not Vikings, but the motorcycle one. They did no, that's a King Arthur one. Never mind.
Yeah, King Arthur.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam. That was a King Arthur one.
Yeah.
All of the King Arthur ones are fucking garbage. There's been like 3 in the last 10 years, and they've all been trash.
Oh wow. Hey, I'll tell you what's probably not going to be trash. Randall Park is going to star in a Netflix sitcom.
Ooh.
Set in a fictionalized version of the world's last blockbuster video store. After they did that documentary about the last blockbuster, they're doing a sitcom version where Randall Park is the manager, the owner, operator.
Yeah, I'm in.
You guys went to that blockbuster? Went on a trip to Oregon?
No, yeah. I'm the one that told Shannon about it.
Oh, no, because we just watched the documentary, and then on our way back from Washington, we actually stopped off over at Bend and went inside and got some paraphernalia and the whole 9 yards. They have all the the movie stuff from the one in Alaska that Russell Crowe wore brought down, and it's a thing.
That's awesome. We got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that reminded me, I had recently since we're going back to the office, I decided to declutter my home. I found my old like DVD binder
Oh wow.
that I haven't fucking seen in, I'm gonna say, a decade.
Wow. Got some gems in there?
Yeah, there's definitely some gems in here. But there was one in particular that was, let me see if I can find it real quick. We got Clerks 2 in there, Free Enterprise, which I think we talked about with Byron, was a show about, or a movie about like Star Trek super fans.
Oh, because I never heard of that one.
Yeah, it was a like low budget. The guy from Will and Grace was the lead, I think.
I mean, I'm just gonna watch Galaxy Quest, so
Yeah.
There you go.
Where to go? So we got I got, of course, all the Star Wars. Damn it, where to go? Okay. I'll find what I was looking for, and then so go ahead and keep on.
All right. Oh damn, I forgot to look at it. I had a Google tab saved because a trailer for Daniel Radcliffe's Weird Al movie came out.
Oh man.
Oh, I haven't watched the trailer yet. I wanna.
I was listening to another podcast and they had kind of a good point. So I don't know if you haven't seen it, Todd, I'll try not to ruin too much, but Tony, you've seen the preview?
No, I haven't seen the trailer yet.
Okay, so just FYI, it looks completely bananas. Like you're watching it like there's no way that this is historically accurate for the life of Weird Al Yankovic. Like not only is like Daniel Radcliffe oddly like shredded, like he is in great shape for like Weird Al Yankovic, but like just the events that take place in the trailer, you're like that. I don't think that Weird Al started with as grandiose a start. And one of the hosts on another podcast was like, nice.
What is that? Blockbuster exclusive Jackass 2.5 unrated. Wow.
But the fact that it's a Blockbuster exclusive. Also, just throwing this one out there, one of the worst films ever made.
Oh God, that book was so deep. And then the movie was...
I never watched. I loved the book, and I didn't watch it in theaters, so I had to get the DVD.
I went and saw that with Charlie.
I think
he was obsessed with those books.
I think we watched it, actually. I have a vague memory of watching that in the theater.
Well, I probably also saw it with him.
Oh yeah. I don't remember anything about it though.
But the host was saying about the Weird Al Yankovic movie, or at least it's like, what if it's just like another weird take on like UHF, like a UHF reboot or something like that, and they're doing it that way instead. And I would, oh God, I'd be down with that. I really want to watch it, but I don't want to get Roku TV, which I think it's exclusive on. So I don't know how I'm going to watch this film.
Oh, I thought it was free on the Roku channel. I'm not sure.
I hope so, because I'm maybe there's like a little like 1 month free subscription, so I can just watch that and cancel it right after.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be funny if that would be appropriate if it's because they build it as like a straight biopic. But if it starts off that way and then just goes bananas, like, I'm all for that.
Watch the preview. Like it's worth and tell me what you think, because you'll see what it's like, and I'm sure be full of as many questions as I am after watching it, because it's just like, it looks amazing. Like I can't wait to see it, but it raises almost a lot more questions. Like I know his backstory kind of, because I was a huge Weird Al fan, in middle school to high school. I even saw him live at a county fair, which is so amazing, so fun. But then this, you're like, that, wow.
Yeah, we saw him some years ago at the Hollywood Bowl.
Nice.
And that was a freaking blast.
Mm-hmm.
And
he did such great live performances.
Yeah, my God, that guy can shred on the accordion.
Oh yeah,
insane. Let's see. The Fallout TV show is supposed to start filming this summer, so that is in fact happening. That's exciting.
Yeah, June.
Nice.
They're coming up.
Yep. Oh, we had CinemaCon a couple weeks ago. There was a few headlines out of that. I guess there was a first teaser for the Borderlands movie.
Oh, I didn't actually see that. I think I got distracted because CinemaCon was mostly about Avatar.
Oh, right. Yeah. Avatar 2 is officially titled The Way of Water.
Way of Water.
And it takes place, I think, like 10 years, I mean, appropriately, like 10
right.
years after the first film. They've got like kids now.
Avatar, the giant aliens, not Avatar, the
Yeah.
Airbender.
No, not the Airbender. Yeah.
James Cameron's Avatar.
James Cameron's cat people.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. I don't need to see that shit.
James Cameron's Pocahontas / Dances with Wolves Part 2.
I think I still have like the whole director's cut special Blu-ray set. It's one of those
Cameron's Fern Gully.
There you go.
To me, it's one of those like Titanic. Like it got so huge that after a while, you just got sick of hearing about it.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure if I go back and sit there and pop the Blu-ray in, I will enjoy it again because it's been so long.
It's not a bad movie. Like it's super enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think the hype just kind of
for sure.
Yeah. I forgot about all this old CinemaCon news. I didn't even watch, I guess there's a trailer for Mission Impossible 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
There's a mission and it doesn't seem like he'll pull through. And then guess what?
He does.
Well, maybe not after this one because Cruise has said he is officially done with it.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, 7 and 8, the package deal.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. We still have 8 to come out.
Yeah,
but they filmed back to back though, right? So they're both done filming.
I think so.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
He's done acting or just acting for Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Because when did the first one came out? It was like what, late 90s, I want to say?
Yeah.
Oh, the first one was 96, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, because
second one was 2000.
Second one was definitely 2000 because it had Limp Bizkit on the soundtrack.
Yes. That was Andrew. This was I think before your time on the podcast. I think that was still Byron, but we went through the whole series and man, we had some words about too. Like that is a movie that can only exist from the year 2000. Not even 99 or 01, the year 2000.
It fits perfectly in the year that it was created.
That sounds that's awesome.
A masterpiece. My way, or the highway.
Disappear.
Oh man.
Any more news I have saved is probably kind of old. But oh well. That's fine.
We did get another teaser for Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, was there?
Yeah. There was a new teaser this week, I think it was. Just like a 30-second one.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything too exciting. I mean, it looks awesome. I want them to get away from Tatooine, but I guess there's just so much going on that planet. Who knows if they will?
I think they definitely are going to. I think I just saw an interview or somewhere saying that they're going to be getting away from Tatooine.
Okay.
There's definitely scenes in there that are not on Tatooine.
Yeah, no, you could see like Coruscant or some sort of like larger city planet, which is good. So,
but this is him in his exile years, and for the majority of it, if not all of it, he spent it on Tatooine.
That's
so we
fair. Yeah,
kind of can't get away from it.
That's true. I mean, just as a series though, we keep always going back. You know, like Boba Fett,
because it's cheap to film in the desert.
I mean, don't need anything. Just here's some sand.
Here's some sand. It's what is the fucking Anakin line? It's sand.
It's gritty and it gets everywhere.
It's everywhere. Oh man.
I mean, you did kill them, the women and the children. So
and the children, yes. Ewan McGregor did say though, in an interview that he absolutely loved the experience of coming back. Like he got so much more from the filming the series than he did the entire prequel trilogy. And he's like, if there's ever any opportunity to do this again, he's 100% in.
But not for a series though, right? Only for a movie? Or no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Liam Neeson. He said he would be back for a movie, but not for a show.
Oh,
Liam Neeson said he wants to be back for a full role. He doesn't want to be just like a cameo or like a Force Ghost or anything.
Quickie Force
Ghost. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's too old to play a younger version of himself.
Movie magic.
I mean,
They brought fucking Mark Hamill back.
Yeah.
True.
Alfred Molina, when he spilled the beans about being Doc Ock, he was proudly championing the CGI to make him look like his younger self and cut back his gut and everything.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
because Hayden
That is
Christensen is
Disney
even
money,
back.
Yeah. That Disney money.
Yeah, Christensen is back as Vader.
Right. Okay, so that'll be
I'm
interesting
excited
too.
about that, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah. Like I could see that being cool.
Yeah. Yeah. He was also in interviews saying he was really excited about being a part of it again. And he was able to, he ended up binging all of the animated series, all the Clone Wars and everything to prepare for it. Cause he's like, well, Vader is so much more than just the tiny bit I played him, 20 years ago. So he was thrilled to see like the whole journey and like how much fuller the character has become.
Yeah, the journey that he's gone on.
My question is, will they get James Earl Jones back for the voice? They did for Rogue One.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Isn't that more like older Vader? I mean, we're still.
Well, no, that's Vader when he's in the suit.
He's got the suit. He's got the mask on. He's got the
Just
whole
the voice box kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But they can pop off the helmet and show, Christensen and all wrecked face, disfigured. Yeah. That'd be cool if they did both.
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's James Earl Jones doing right now? Probably not a whole lot.
Probably retired and enjoying
living his best life by not having to work anymore.
Yeah, being alive. He made a little cameo for Coming to America 2.
He's got that Lion King money, so like he's good.
He's got the Disney residuals because there's no residuals from Star Wars because apparently he only made like $7,000 from Star Wars.
Wow,
really?
Yeah.
Well.
They did some shady shit with the contracts on that film.
Mm-hmm.
Only Obi-Wan, Alec Guinness made out from that because he didn't do the standard like, oh, I want 1% of the gross. He got 1% of the revenue.
Mm.
And he was
smart man.
And honestly, like, they didn't think it was going to be as big as it was. So,
yeah,
they probably like, whatever, this movie isn't going to do anything. It's going to be a flop. Yeah. Like, nobody's going to go see it.
Which is also why George Lucas got his hordes and hordes of riches because he had the studio give him all the rights to merchandising. And they were like, fucking here, fine. Like, for this
merchandising.
Like, have fun, good luck with that. And then a billion toys later, like he's got
toys. Fuck, he went the full Kiss route. He stuck Star Wars on everything.
Star Wars, the flamethrower.
Yeah. Spaceballs, the t-shirt. Spaceballs, the lunchbox. Spaceballs, the breakfast cereal. Oh God, that's one I need to watch again. Moon Knight. We didn't even talk about Moon Knight.
No, we haven't.
Andrew, you finish it?
I did, yeah. Completed it. It's funny because we were talking to Shannon's mom and she was like, oh, but then it ends with him in the sand. I'm like, not quite. There's one whole episode you still have to watch. So yeah, I finished it all. And did you guys see the post-credits scene?
Did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's crazy. So yeah,
we talked about that coming. We talked about that happening.
Yeah, because I mean the two I went into this knowing absolutely nothing about Moon Knight. I've never read the comics or anything. Todd, you had some knowledge of it and you liked the character. But you had told me before that there's a whole truckload of personalities in the comics version.
There's the 3 primary personalities, but he does have a couple of other side personalities that come out every now and again. But there's 3 main ones.
Yeah. So the course of the show, we're led to believe it's just the 2. You get a couple brief hints that there's somebody else hiding around in there because
that one sarcophagus banging around.
The sarcophagus when they're in the in the mental ward hallucination or dream state or whatever they were in, and also earlier in one of the earlier episodes, like maybe episode 3 or something, when they first get to Egypt, both of them don't recall killing the guy on the rooftop in the rooftop scuffle. And they're like, what?
Right.
Like, what did you do? Like, oh, it switches back to Mark. And he's like, Steven, what did you do? And they're both really like neither one of them did that. But yeah, it's overall, it was a solid show. Like, I was a little iffy on it. Like, I was enjoying it, but I was like, it felt a little.
It was frustrating.
So all over the place.
It was frustrating how confusing it was for the most part for me, like trying to follow and figure out what's going on. And it's just like, it went on too long, like leaving us in the dark with stuff. And I didn't like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the mystery unfolding.
I know, but it's like, come on, guys, like just lay out all the cards by now. It's like 5 episodes in.
I felt, there was a bit of like, okay, is this important? How does this matter? Like, okay, well, at least we know the basics. Like, Khonshu he's not really a good guy. He's still just like forcing Mark / Steven to do his bidding. But it's like, you side with the devil, because this other even worse god is gonna wipe out untold millions or whatever.
Yeah, at least Khonshu has somewhat morals and has affection for the human race, whereas this one, nah, she doesn't give a shit. If you're gonna commit evil any point in your life, regardless of choice, you're dead. You're gone.
Yeah. What was her name again?
Amit.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
It takes away the human part of us, which is to be able to make decisions and choices.
Yeah. To even have the potential to cause harm in the future, like, you're gone. You're already. Yeah. I really enjoyed once they got to Mark and Steven as two separate beings, and we were able to start getting all the answers, Mark's history and the reason why Steven came to be and everything. That episode the emotional impact of that was insane.
We had 2 shows with fucked up moms.
You're right.
Yeah.
Picard and this.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, it's like tragic, but yeah, Meg was sitting here like, what the fuck is wrong with her? God. But yeah, that was really cool. And that's how everything flips. And you realize this whole time we've been led to believe that Steven is the weaker side and just like bumbling through all this chaos, and he needs Mark to protect him. Whereas Steven came to be because Mark needed protecting.
Yeah. He was a protective personality this whole time.
Yeah, he saved Mark. It's the bumper sticker of dog lovers. Who saved who, or who rescued who?
Fuck you, Tony.
What, do you have one for your cats?
No, I hate those people.
It's like when Steven falls over the side of the ship and gets swallowed by the sand, like that Sarah McLachlan song comes on.
Fly away.
Yeah.
With more money, every Steven can be saved.
With your dollar.
Yeah.
Each
For the cost of a
personality.
single cup of coffee, an alternate personality can be saved from the freezing sands of the Duat.
If you act now, we'll send you this plush, Steven. Oh, yeah.
You'll get this t-shirt with him in the sand.
Yeah, that got me though. I was like, oh God, because it made sense to me at that part. Like, oh, because Mark hashed out all of his shit. Essentially, he has no need for Steven anymore. He becomes whole again by letting go of Steven. I mean, like, he basically was forced upon him, like Steven fell in the sands. But I was like, oh, that's how he becomes whole. And he goes on to the afterlife. Of course, he's not going to stay in the afterlife. But at that point, I was pretty sure, oh, Steven's just gone now. But then even cooler, he's like, no, I'm going back for my buddy. Like, that was really sweet.
Yeah, we're friends now.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Besties.
need him, he wants him.
Yeah.
I was expecting Russell Crowe to be walking through that field of grain.
I said the same thing. It's just like
The hand
over the grain. Yeah.
Which that brought up some batty ass news. That reminded me of some batty ass news. Apparently, there's talk that Gladiator may finally get the sequel that they wanted to do after it.
How
They want to
would
do
there be a
some.
sequel? He dies.
Yeah.
They want to bring like super wacky, like Roman afterlife type stuff into it, and reincarnation and all that good stuff. But that was they had planned a sequel like right after it had come out. They wanted to do a sequel, but the studio wouldn't pick it up.
It didn't like Russell Crowe like drunkenly go up to someone and like badger him into making it, and he was like, "What do you mean? How'd I do that?" And Russell Crowe's response was, "You're the writer, figure it out," or something like that to him.
Pretty much.
I thought I
Russell
heard.
Russell Crowe had some like weird stuff happen, like in the mid 2000s where he was kind of a drunk asshole.
Yeah, I remember those shenanigans.
Wasn't he on a tugboat though?
Oh, Tuggy. Todd, why'd you send me a random hot chick in the chat?
That's the girl that plays Spock's wife.
Oh, yeah, I see the screen grab there. Damn. Okay.
Hey, Tony, want to forward that to me?
It's in the Zoom chat.
In the Zoom chat.
Is it okay? Let me check that out real quick right here.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of strong female characters,
yes.
Layla in Moon Knight, fantastic.
Awesome. I was telling Tony she was the best part of that show.
She was great. Layla was
May Kalamaui.
I'm
butchering that name. But yeah, of Egyptian and Palestinian descent. And when that moment when all the final battle shit is going down and she suits up effectively, she allows
That's a really cool outfit.
Harrowet.
What was it?
Harrowet,
that was it? The hippo goddess.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she agrees to be her avatar. She's like temporarily to kick some ass herself. That's when it solidified, like, oh, okay, this is just as much her story as it is Moon Knight's. And that moment when she grabs the little girl from getting hit by this like car being smashed out of the way, and the little girl has that moment. She speaks to her in, was that
Egyptian?
Yeah, she says, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" She's like, takes a moment. She's like, "Yeah, I am." Goes back to work. I was like, fuck yeah, that's rad. Like that was the point of this show.
And it's also like, I don't know if they did this on purpose. I'm sure they probably did it on purpose, but the goddess is the goddess of protecting families and women, and the bus of people that she's saving is a bus full of women.
Oh,
so I don't know if that was intentional. I'm pretty sure it was, but that was kind of cool.
That was very cool.
It's probably low key intention.
Yeah.
Low key.
But I was telling this to Tony. It's like, I don't know what it is with all the MCU shows, but it's always the side characters that are the best.
Yeah.
Like she was the best of this season. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Isaacs and his portrayal of Moon Knight, but she was the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you go back to Iron Fist, and it was Colleen Wing was the fucking best.
And then eventually crossing over with Misty Knight. Which they still deserve their own damn show. I think it's something about like the burden of the main character, the main protagonist. Like they have to they do go on a journey and they do grow somewhat, but I think side characters have more room to breathe as long as the writing's there. Like unless they're just some static like stereotype, like I'm the bumbling fat best friend or something, like some bad rom-com or something. But Marvel definitely does a good job at that. Like
why you gotta call me out like that?
Philip Seymour Hoffman and the masterpiece Along Came Polly.
There you go.
Sorry, by the way, sorry if you're hearing like some weird scuffling. We got Ripley a like cardboard like castle thing, and she's in there ripping the shit out of it. So
I was gonna say, like, how crazy crocheting are you doing right now, Meg? Like, Jesus Christ, I know you want to finish.
Actually, I'm almost done. I just have to do the border now. I finished the last big section of it, so.
All right.
Yeah, I'm almost
Go crazy.
I'm so close.
But yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a trend there. Once you establish a hero, but I mean, you got a lot of growth with Moon Knight too. I think I would put this, they had both equal footing. But if once you're established, like say, Steve Rogers in the Captain America sequels, well, he's pretty much just very statically Steve Rogers Captain America at that point. He's not going to do much more growing. So then you focus on Bucky, and his whole journey and everything. So yeah, I don't know. Marvel does good job at the number twos, or I guess the number one to the captain. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Indeed.
I don't know if you guys got anything else. That's all I got.
I think that was the last bit of news that I had.
Yeah. Oh, I do got to give a cool little shout out to my friend Eric in Vegas, Eric Bauer. I think they prefer they now. I think he's still okay with he also, but just in case sorry, Eric. So Eric is currently on a movie project in Vegas. I guess Eric became pals with a former stuntwoman turned director, filmmaker, Lexi Alexander. I guess they were chatting on Twitter, and Eric's been very vocal about he actually left his job recently and was really into fitness the last several years. He was doing kickboxing and stuff. Eric was, we were actually having a conversation a week or so back where Eric was really wanting to do like stunt work, but wasn't sure I'm getting older. I don't know, am I going to hurt myself or something? I was like, go for it, dude, go for it. There's plenty of stunt people out there that are doing this, even older than us. And so Lexi Alexander is now writing and directing this film for Netflix called Absolute Dominion. And I found, Eric shared an article from the Hollywood Reporter from last month. And I'm just going to read this description because I'm totally digging this. Absolute Dominion is set in 2085 AD in a world destroyed by religious warfare. Desperate to save humanity, global governing forces host a no-holds-barred martial arts tournament between competing faiths where the last fighter standing wins absolute dominion for one faith. So
tell me Nicolas Cage is in this, right? Nicolas Cage has to be in this film.
This is absolutely a Nick Cage film.
There's no way Nick Cage isn't in this film.
No Nick Cage.
Damn it.
I'll tell you who is.
Christopher Lambert, the one guiding me through this tournament.
Make that Alex Winter from Bill and Ted.
Wow.
Also Patton Oswalt. Because you throw a rock and Patton Oswalt is there.
He's
Reagan Gomez, Julianne Emery, and some more. Lexi Alexander was involved with. Wait, did she direct or was she stunt work on that? She was involved with Punisher Warzone back in the day. Let me see, Punisher Warzone. But yeah, that I read that description. I was like, this screams. Oh no, she directed. Yeah, she directed Punisher Warzone. That description, that's a forgotten VHS in a blockbuster, next to Barbed Wire, Mortal Kombat,
I mean, Tony,
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
you had me at no holds barred, melee combat. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that disparagingly. This is right up my alley. I can't wait to watch this.
Seriously.
Yeah, this is Netflix and Blumhouse. And and so Eric, I guess, was connected with Lexi Alexander on Twitter just as a super fan for a while and started chatting. And then when Eric started expressing wanting to get involved in stunt work, Lexi Alexander invites Eric to the set and says, "Hey, you want to join our stunt crew? Come on, we'll show you what to do." And so Eric's I've only seen bits on Instagram stories, but
Wow,
he's doing it. It's freaking awesome. So super proud of my friend, and that's super exciting. So I don't know if there's a release date on that yet, but they're filming right now in Vegas. So I'll keep you guys posted if I hear anything.
Nice. Oh, just going back to Netflix, I completely slipped my mind. What just came out, I think, just Friday maybe? The Pentaveret. Did either of you catch that yet?
Not
I haven't
yet.
watched it yet.
The Mike Myers one, right?
Oh, I
Yeah.
saw the trailer for it on Netflix today, and I was like, oh, I want to watch this, but I'm pretty sure
I watched the first episode, and it has promise. I'm curious, man. Mike Myers, I can't tell if he's really aged that much, or if it's just the makeup of one of the main characters or not. But it's interesting to see. I haven't seen him in anything since maybe Inglourious Bastards, his cameo in that.
He's definitely looking like a 90s lesbian.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of both. I remember he and Dana Carvey did a quick Wayne's World bit within the last couple years on SNL, or actually I think it was some commercials. I think it was a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
But it's half makeup, half he's becoming an older gentleman with a face of fine pudding.
I respect the not getting work done and just letting nature take its course, because that's what I'm going to do, obviously. But yeah, it's just wow, you go from So I Married an Axe Murderer, or even what's the one where he's a spy? I can't think of it. Where he's
talking about Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, and then now all the way to this. So yeah. It's been a while.
Since we started recording this podcast.
There you go.
All right, guys. I think that's about does it. Thank you for joining. This is Tony.
This is Todd.
I was Andrew.
And Meg.
Hey. Don't eat questionable bacon.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it. If there's a coat of slime,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Not even once.
Not even once.
All right. Later, guys.